Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is New Year's Eve. It's December 31st. Starting to get ready, putting on my makeup, doing my hair, getting ready for showgirl. We have two showgirls. We have one at 8 and one at 10. So I figured while I'm getting ready for our New Year's Eve shows, I might as well answer a couple questions. I asked people on my social media to ask me questions, anything they want to know about cruise life, dance, really anything. And I'll be answering those questions while I get ready for showgirl. Alright, so first thing I've learned, especially with two show nights, it's really important to prime your face. So then hopefully your makeup stays on for like 4 hours. And showgirl is just such a hard show. This might be a bit better. Alright, so while I go in with some foundation, I'll start answering some questions. First question I got was, what was the audition process like for getting on a cruise ship? My audition process, I can make a whole separate video about this because it took me some years like aligning my training to like where I wanted to be, and like I've always wanted to do cruise ships. It's always been a goal of mine, so I've researched a lot about it. But I auditioned once when I was, I think 18 or 19, and I auditioned in Orlando and I made it through to I think the second round before I got cut. But I just remember it being a really fun audition. What my audition process was like for Royal, I went to Atlanta. The audition was at Excel Studios. They were hosting a contemporary and a hip-hop audition, and I'm way more a contemporary dancer than I am a hip-hop dancer, but I said let's give it a shot. I'll come to the hip-hop audition. The hip-hop audition was in the morning, so I went, we learned a combo. I made it through that first round. Then it was a technique round. It was just like kicks, turns, basic, like cross the floor combo. After the technique combo, I think they made another cut, and then those were like the finalists or whatever of like the hip hop round. And they asked if anyone had any tricks that they wanted to record, and I do, because I like to tumble. I do recommend, if you're a dancer, you should teach yourself how to tumble. Like a trick could help like push you over the edge if you like can do tricks. Yeah, I did like a back handspring, a step out. I don't think I did a tuck. I think I was too scared. I did a front aerial and an aerial, I think. You don't have to flip, by the way. They just asked if you could. They would record it. Really funny, I'm a showgirl, so showgirls don't flip at all because we're in heels the entire time. But if you are cast as a dancer, you may flip. So after that audition, the casting directors told me to come to the contemporary audition, which I was already prepared for. The contemporary audition, they had a combo that they wanted you to learn, but I already had the combo memorized. Whenever I got to the final cut, after the combo, they like recorded us in groups of like 2 or 3. After the contemporary audition, there was a cut, there was a technique round, same technique round, like kicks, turns, like leap, something like that. They made another cut, then it was the commercial round, which is like heels, sexy heels, jazz kind of combo. I was so exhausted by this point, like it was such a long day, and I was honestly so ready to get cut after the commercial audition. I made it through that cut, and then they asked the same thing, like if you can flip, can you stay, we'll record your flip. Since I recorded them earlier, I didn't have to do them again. But basically what they told us was we were like in their casting book, and they would let us know within 12 months if they needed us, and if they didn't need us within 12 months, they highly encouraged that we would audition again. Got the call like 5 months later. That was my process. I also have dreamed of this for literally my whole life, and I was also that person on Instagram who would like message people and try to see how they got where they got to. And so like if anyone messages me, if I see it, I promise I will give you as much information as you want. I love helping people out if anyone wants to pursue this career path, because it's pretty cool in my opinion. All right, next question. I've seen shows about extra duties everyone who works on a cruise ship has to do on board. Do you have any duties? Yes, we all do. If you're employed by the cruise line, you have to go through lots and lots of training. Our first probably 2-3 weeks on board, we had training like almost every single day. We were trained on literally everything you could possibly think would go wrong on a ship. That being said, of extra duties that we have to do usually every week, every other week or so, we have muster and drill. So muster is on turnaround days. So a turnaround day is when the ship gets back to its home port. So right now our home port is Fort Lauderdale, so when we get to Fort Lauderdale, it's the day that our passengers get off the ship, new passengers get on the ship, and on those days we have muster, and we're usually scheduled like every other week, and it's basically a safety briefing for the guests, letting them know where their life jackets are, where their emergency station is, and we give them a little speech when they get on the ship. We gotta check them into their muster station. I think it's so much fun. I get to interact with guests, especially when they're nice guests. It's really fun. Ask me again when I've done it for months, but right now I really enjoy doing muster. Another thing that we're required to do is drill. It can either be a red drill, green drill, or like an all crew drill. Basically, you hear announcements, you hear the drills going on, you go respond to the drill, and usually takes like an hour or two, depending on what drill it is. I have a really fun drill partner. My drill partner's Ben. Hey Ben, if you're watching this. And so we have fun. But yeah, those are duties that we usually have to do like every week. There's also side jobs you can get. I know we're allowed to work Wi-Fi and art gallery, and that's just a way to get extra minutes, some extra cash in your pocket, and just, you know, have a little side job. Obviously it cannot interfere with like our main job of performing. This is where I'm gonna look a little crazy when I do my eye makeup. All right, next question is, how often do you get off the boat? I am beyond lucky, because not every department on the ship can say this, but we are able to get off almost at every single port. When we were in install, or like as soon as we got here, when we were doing the cross or the handover with the other cast, I am so lucky that our company manager and our dance captain and people who just like come up with our schedules give us that sort of consideration. Some days on like port days, or like ports that we may go to like once, they'll try to give us like that day to be pretty empty so we can go explore, which is just like so nice. It's such a luxury that we have that, and people that are really considerate about making sure we get time off the ship. I'm not gonna lie, today is probably the first time that I haven't gotten off the ship. We were in Coco Cay today. I love Coco Cay, but I was so exhausted. I just needed like a reset day, so I did not get off the ship today. Now that we're installed, our shows are going, and our shows happen at night, so like our call time tonight is 7, and like the ship leaves at 5, so if we're able to get off the whole morning, as long as we are ready and able to do our job at night, they'll let us have some time to explore. And like we always have things to do, like every show day we have tech runs, and sometimes we had like a safety meeting this morning. Kind of depends on the day. Every single day is so different. Thankfully I do get off the ship almost every port. All right, next question is, how are the cabin accommodations? Caitlin just got me these Kitten Karma sparkles for Christmas. So first of all, I will say I literally have the best roommate in the world. I love her to death. She's amazing. She's clean. She's funny, and she's my best friend, and I love her to death. So I feel so lucky to have like a great roommate. Basically, dancers get a shared cabin. Singers get their own cabin. We got a bunk bed. We share the space. We share a bathroom. But it's really not that bad. And yeah, it is frustrating sometimes, especially when I bang my head on this bed. The shower is a bit annoying at times because it is just too small sometimes. So yeah, obviously there's some cons to just like having a very tiny space. So we've made storage where we can, but it's definitely not like it was back home. I actually really love our cabin. We've made it really homey. I tell people I low-key like this room better than I like my room at home. These beds, if I'm not careful, we will literally sleep till 12 o'clock because there's no window. It'll get pitch black in here, and it's dangerously easy to just sleep all day. I really like our cabins, and we really make the most of what we have. Another question I got was, how does the Wi-Fi work on the ship? Not well. I feel like it's one of those things you just have to live it to understand the Wi-Fi situation on board. On the bright side, it's really great. Royal has a crew message Wi-Fi, which is basically we get to message on WhatsApp for free. They did not used to have this, so I feel lucky that we have this now. That does not mean you can send photos, links, like anything. Like, this is strictly just message on WhatsApp. Especially Americans who use message like iMessage. I do not receive iMessage unless I'm in the United States on a turnaround day, or sometimes I get them in port. Kind of depends on the port. So if you have my number and you want to text me on WhatsApp. I am not reliable on anything else. You can purchase Wi-Fi, so like if you want to send a photo, open a photo, go on social media, things like that, they definitely sell Wi-Fi. It's also really good that they give us 120 free minutes a week, which is really nice. But 120 minutes goes by so fast. I won't even use social media on those 120 minutes and it's already gone. I use it on calls, or if we get sent a photo and we need to open it or something like that. That's what I use my 120 minutes for. For the holiday season, we had free Wi-Fi after 11 p.m. to like 7 a.m. which is really nice. That was like a holiday treat we got. I mainly buy Wi-Fi for calls, but for the most part, a lot of crew has Google Fi, which is like an international plan. With Google Fi, we usually have service like in almost every port. So if you see me active on social media, it's probably because I'm in a port. But again, we leave port 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. If I'm in my cabin, I don't have service, so I have to go all the way up on deck 7 or our like crew designated areas to use service if I'm on board. I am also doing long distance with my boyfriend, and he is amazing and so loving. He will buy my Wi-Fi packages because we want to talk on the phone. It costs about like $4 or $5 an hour to buy an individual hour of Wi-Fi, so we'll talk on the phone and he'll send me $5 so I can buy a package. Thanks, Ryan. Love that you do that for me. I left my lashes in the dressing room, so that's okay. We'll move on to hair. Next question is, if you get free time on the boat, what do you do? I feel like it kind of depends on the day. Sometimes I feel like we're crazy busy and we don't get a second of free time, and then sometimes I feel like there's nothing to do. One thing that we do is we all have hard drives, and collectively, especially with people who've done like many contracts, they've got plenty of TV shows and movies on their hard drives. I have a pretty good collection of movies and TV shows, and especially now that I have The Office, I am set. But I'm not really like a huge TV show person. For me personally, I love to read. Me and Caitlin have our little library. That's our little library. I even have more books that I'm in the middle of reading. Because I love to read, it's such a good pastime on the ship. One of my favorite hobbies is just read outside. So I can go up on deck 15 and just read. Even if I just go off to a port, find a beach, read my book, and I am happy forever. That's all I need. The last question I have for now is, what is your favorite show and why? I am in 2 shows. Our theater cast is in Showgirl and Effectors on the Odyssey. And to give a brief little recap, Showgirl is called Past, Present, Future. It's about like the evolution of showgirls. So it goes from like 1920s and 30s, like very traditional style dancers and showgirls, into like present, and we have like a girl power section, and the end is like futuristic, super cool technology. The show is amazing. The talent in our show is actually insane. The costumes, the people I'm dancing next to, like the singers I'm dancing with, they're all ridiculously talented. I love each and every single person in my cast. Effectors is the other show I do. Effectors is like a superhero musical, I guess I would call it. So we have 4 superheroes. We have Pixel, Loom, Reverb, and Captain Viz, and they're basically trying to stop Crash from getting the magic crystal. It is so cool. Like, I recommend adults to come to it all the time. I don't know why people think it's just for kids. It's not. It's probably one of the most technologically advanced shows. We got drones, we got units, we got lasers. You just gotta come watch it for yourself. I actually do get this question a lot, and I always say I can never decide, depends on the day. Today's a showgirl day, so today showgirl's my favorite show. And I feel like that's the way it has to be. I love both shows just as equally for different reasons. Showgirl is definitely dance-wise harder, but then Effectors is way more like technologically harder. It just depends. I don't know, I love them both. I feel so honored to be in these shows. They are just incredible. Hey, okay, so I'm done with my hair. Call time is in 5 minutes. This literally always happens. I have to run to the dressing room. But thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you learned something about cruise life or dance or just anything you wanted to know. Follow me on my social media so that you don't miss if I do this again. You're able to ask a question. Feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe, click that bell. I'm trying to post more content because now I have way more time. We're out of install and we're just performing. Thanks for watching and Happy New Year!